started successful.
Office still stands for talk? No. Offender in custody?
Good morning, everybody. Thursday morning. Sinus is kicking, baby. We got Cable Company coming out this afternoon. Hopefully, right? So I apologize again if it gets a little glitchy or something. Let me know and we'll switch it to hotspot if we do. Going to be going over a couple things today. Thank you for hopping in. We're going to be going into... I'm going to be reading the Richard Bittanti affidavit. We're going to be going through that. This post on Facebook, I don't know. I'm confused, y'all. And I know what post I'm talking about. We're going to talk about that too. I'm going to show you some different footage today that I took back in Idaho, behind the crime scene, actually. Some other footage I wanted to show you because when I was on Andrew D. Meyer's show yesterday, I was talking about how close everything was when it comes to the properties. And I was saying, even though this case is something that we've been covering since it happened, pretty much since when I started the show. I was like, even though we studied the streets and the bird's eye view of Google and all this other stuff, I said once I was actually there, it was crazy because of how compact and the different elevations from one street to the next, and how it just made it was really confusing trying to navigate, even though it was an area we had studied for a long time. And so just because all of those different things added onto it. And so I wanted to show one of the footage that I took where I walked up to the tape, and I wanted to specifically show how close 1126 King Road was to 1122 King Road. And so I'm going to show you guys a little bit of that. And also, when I was talking about the tire tracks last night and last night's show, I'm going to go ahead and show those pictures again. And I'm also going to show the footage of where I would be, when I was leaving the property, and where the tire mark should be. And then we're going to compare it to the picture so I can really show you. I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. So we'll go ahead and say what's up to everybody, and then we'll go ahead and get started into the show. And we should be back later tonight. Got these cable people coming. Should be going. So I'm going to put out a notification after the show's over. But just keep in mind, we'll see what's up. I will definitely keep you guys posted. What's up, Sesson? Thank you for hopping in. Appreciate you. Katrina, thank you. Miley, ticket number 1. I cheated and I liked it as soon as I got the notification. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. What's up, 49er girl? Ticket number 11. Oh, look at that. Christmas colors. Hey. Ticket number 10. Look at that. Queen. I need to. I need to get some Christmas lights going over here, don't I? Man, I can't believe. Holy crap. We're only 11 days away. Holy shit, it's sneaking up. Miley, kudos to you and Harsh for the shout out. Appreciate them. Their video should be dropping whenever. So whenever it drops, today, tomorrow, or whenever that may be, you're gonna. It was I can't wait. It was a good show. I loved it. Those two are amazing people. And, for anybody that wants to, this is what I never understand. You go to leave comments to support. And it's not like I'm supporting a whole bunch of people. You go to leave comments to support, and then people are, rude about it. Why even leave a message? You know what I'm saying? You got to love yourself before you can love others, people. So try and love yourself first. Then you can love other people. What's up, Mark and Betty? Ticket number 15. Thank you for hopping in. Appreciate you. Caddy. Oh, yeah, we got the Christmas. I need to get some Christmas lights up here, don't I? Let me write that down. I'm going to look after the show, and we'll see if we can get some kind of. I got the snowflakes falling for the show. I just don't have any Christmas lights. We need some lights. What's up, Commercial Zone? We need some blinking lights or something. Some reindeer or something. What's up, Mark? I hope you are too, Caddy. Everybody is so sick right now. Oh, and it's so cold. Yes, I need a drink of my coffee. First drink. I let it sit there. I always make my coffee, and then I just let it sit there until I start the show. What's up, Teresa? How you doing? And it's nice and hot, and I got a full cup. No, the other day, though, what show did I do? Oh, yeah. When I was doing my typically unique episode 2 conversations with CJ. Yeah, I forgot I had made my coffee. That was the one episode the one episode that I made my coffee, but because I usually make my coffee early, that was the one episode I was running right on time, and my coffee sat at next to the coffee machine, and I was like, "Damn!" But I went through that whole thing. If you notice, if you go watch that episode 2, Conversations with CJ with Typically Unique, I do not take one drink. You'll see. I left my coffee cup over there. I was like, "Damn." But I was not going to turn the camera off or, excuse me, real quick. Let me go get my coffee. No. What's up, Nina? What's up, Connor? It's just coffee. What's up? Awesome gentleman right there. He is so funny. And I got to have you on for Conversations with CJ because everybody needs to hear this story about your transition from uh, one attorneyship to another, however you want to call it. That little story, that was crazy. I got to hear more. I know they would want to hear more. We got to do it sometime whenever you're available. I know you're busy. What kind of coffee do I drink? I drink Great Value Donut Shop coffee. That's what I drink. What's up, JR Nana Boomer? Sending love and light to you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yes, we love you guys over here. Always have. Great Value Donut Shop. And then I have French vanilla creamer. I mix a little bit of French vanilla creamer and cinnamon. What is that creamer called? Cinnamon toast or something. It's like, Great Value cinnamon toast or something like that. So I do like French vanilla, cinnamon toast with shout out Idaho. With a little bit of French vanilla cinnamon toast. It's good stuff. You should try it. Oh my gosh, for real? 49er girl, send me an email. I'll get some. I'll support. I would like if there's any sponsorship I could ever have, it would be for coffee. I'm serious. Just give me coffee. Just give me coffee. All right. So we're gonna go to a couple things. Yeah, I'll definitely buy some and support. For real. I'll shout it out on the show. That's awesome. I always tell people, I'm gonna have a coffee company one day, but it's not gonna be anything that I would want to try and. It would be more for, like enjoyment of having a coffee company. Not that I'd be in it to like get rich. There's other dreams that I have instead of running a coffee business, but I would definitely love to have my own coffee. Like Newman's Own, Newman's Own, CJ's Own. That'd be sweet. All right, so I want to see what you guys think because this is crazy. All right. Here, let me close this stuff out and we'll go ahead and share it. Give me 1 second. We'll go ahead and get it switched up. And we'll get into the show. And also, we're going to be checking out an old episode from November 23rd, 2022, when CourtTV came out and said, misinformation is fueling fear. I'm sorry, what? CourtTV? CourtTV says, misinformation is fueling fear, and they made a special about it. Okay. All right, we'll check that out. We'll see. We'll see. All right, we'll be right back. Give me 1 second. All right, so this is the episode right here, November 23rd, 2022. Misinformation fuels fear. We're going to check that out in a little bit, but the first thing I wanted to see what you guys thought. Now, we heard, and here's the link to this. Now, we heard, we watched the video, Harsh's video about, and here's the link to this if you'd like it for yourself. We heard Harsh's video yesterday morning, and I don't know, we kind of talked about it yesterday, talked about it last night. I'm kind of shocked that, I don't know, were you guys shocked by this response? Right, of all people, Court TV. The same Court TV that made me put up the damn coffee cup because they kept zooming in on BK, the same Court TV. But what do you guys think? Yeah, we're going to go to that. We're going to go to that next. Oh, mac and cheese. That's my favorite. And tacos. Yum. Yeah, I wanted to address, well, you know what? In all fairness, hold on. In all fairness, we will watch that video from yesterday before the response. All right. So we'll go to this first. And shout out Harsh. And we will be in that live later today. I'm excited. So we'll throw that up there. Yeah, I have all of it up and ready to go. I'm just going to kind of go through each one. Yeah, I was 100% shocked too. But yeah, I'm going to go like through like in order. I think in all fairness, it's best to, share the video first, since we're going to go into a response. So we'll go ahead and do that first. All right. So I was shocked too, for real. I was shocked as well. So we're going to go ahead and check this out first. This is the video from yesterday about what SG told.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you are all well. It's the midweek hump. That's right, baby. It's the midweek hump already. This week is absolutely flying. And you, by the way, you're looking absolutely amazing. It's good, isn't it? Isn't it better when you hear people say nice things? Because there's so many people around this and not just this platform, the world in general, who all they really want to do is whinge and moan and bitch about everything. So I just want you to know that, yeah, you look absolutely amazing. And what we need to do today, I'm going to do a live later. So we're going to have a chat. We're going to do some backwards and forwards questions. But I appreciate that not everybody has all the time in the world to do live, so I want to split it. And I didn't want you to wait either, because sometimes I'll do the live and then I'll do a video after that kind of condenses things, unlike the intro to this video, which should have been condensed. But look, yeah, I want to set the stage, because I have indeed spoken to Steve Gonsalves, albeit incredibly briefly. It wasn't a massive long conversation. I had reached out to Steve, reference the fact that I had received threats. I know there are other creators who have as well, one in particular being Jules of All Trades. She received the threats that I received at the same time. Some of the threats that I received, she was copied into them. They were aiming them at both of us. And I found that quite how can I say, quite bizarre, because there
Yeah,
are,
it is bizarre.
how can I say, on one hand, I'm aware that there are some other creators on the platform who love Harsh. They absolutely love him. And, and they've kind of made it their mission to build their entire channel and everything they do surrounding my content and moaning about me. Crack on. Crack on. But
Right.
look,
Right.
but what
they
it
don't make
was
you shit.
these threats were very specific. They were very specific to a specific type of content, and that was content that would discuss Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen. And it did get quite nasty. Do you know what I mean? It's got to the point where they were uploading pictures of my family, albeit like really old random pictures and so on and so forth. And what I will say is things like that aren't going to stop me. We're pretty well protected, and it doesn't scare me. I look at things on this platform, and I know that there's some weirdos about, and we have to sometimes deal with said weirdos, and it's just the way it is. And some people can get really bent up out of shape when you talk about things that they don't themselves agree with. And I look at it like this. There's two reasons why people are like this, and that's either that they don't consider you pointless, because for them to get so upset and worked up over content that you create, then you've hit a nerve somewhere along the line. Now, maybe it's because you say something that they know goes against what they believe, and they're upset because of it. It makes them have to challenge what they think, and they don't like being challenged. Because if it was a case of these people just simply didn't think that anything that you said had any bearing on reality, that you're just talking shit, then I can't understand why so many people seem to get so fixated on it, and it seemingly means so much to them to discuss it and threaten over it. But I'd reached out to Steve, and I'd said, I have received some threats, and it's bizarre, because I look at it like, from all of the stuff that we've discussed and all of the elements, and we have questioned a lot of people around this case, for somebody to be making the threats and how can I say, I'm relentless with it, and it's always focusing on these two specific people who are seemingly, in effect, they've backed away from this entire case. I just found it quite bizarre. Took Steve a little bit of time to come back to me, but he came back to me day before yesterday, or yesterday perhaps. Day before yesterday, depending on when you're watching this video. But he'd said, and I'll read it. This is Steve. Would he put treats, but he meant threats, come from an early suspect? We were threatened by just one family. And I thought to myself, well, that's bizarre in itself, isn't it? So what Steve is basically saying is that there was potentially another suspect. Someone had been considered someone who could have potentially been involved, and perhaps that is why we had an original suspect vehicle 1 and suspect vehicle 2. Maybe there was another car in the area, and maybe that got cleared. Maybe it was the door.
Maybe that was the package that they received in the mail, Maybe that was the threat, because we've all wondered, remember when they had to turn over a piece of mail to LE because they thought it was involved in the or could potentially help, or somehow it was, somehow they thought it pertained to the investigation, so they had to sign over custody of. Do you guys remember that? They had to sign over custody of that piece of mail. Maybe that's what it was.
Dash, for instance. But Steve goes on, like I say, to say that we were threatened by just one family. So I thought to myself, who's threatening Steve? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Why would they be threatening Steve? Then I thought, it's very much like we do. We talk about things, we investigate things, we question things, and they then brings in the threats. And you think to yourself, why would somebody get that sort of bent up out of shape that they feel the need to make an account and then reach out in order to specifically threaten you about talking about specific people. And I think that, to me, is a sign that you're saying something that is very, very close to the truth, and it's upsetting someone. And they feel that if this continues going in this direction, you are going to hit on something, or you're going to get other people's attention and they will question it.
Right.
And look, I'm just spitballing at the end of the day, because it could just be a lunatic on this platform who just feels that we shouldn't be talking about true crime in general. Well, not being funny, but you're watching it because you're getting upset by it. And if people didn't watch it, it wouldn't exist. It's supply and demand, isn't it? Supply and demand. If people demand and they want to see this type of content, then people are going to continue.
You know what I'm saying? Like, go Flora 4, everybody. Flora 4 is one of the most fucked up cases. How many views does Flora 4 get? You know what I mean? He's got a great point. Is it not bizarre that this was a response? Of course.
Very, very close to the truth, and it's upsetting someone. And they feel that if this continues going in this direction, you are going to hit on something, or you're going to get other people's attention and they will question it. And look, I'm just spitballing at the end of the day, because it could.
Well, he reached out. He reached out to Steve, and he's going to go through those in his live today. We're going to get to his latest community post in a minute, but he's going to go through those. He reached out to Steve, and it was a question about the threats, I believe. And then this was a response. We'll see. I mean,
could
it's
just
gonna be
be a
interesting.
lunatic on this platform who just feels that
But
we shouldn't be talking about true crime in general.
Anything he's saying, I don't know what's wrong with what he's saying. What is you'll see what I mean. I don't understand.
Not being funny, but you're watching it because you're getting upset by it. And if people didn't watch it, it wouldn't exist. It's supply and demand, isn't it? Supply and demand. If people demand and they want to see this type of content, then people are going to continue to cover it, because you are, again, you're supplying something that there is a demand for. You're just arrogant to think that you can control the narrative of that, like legacy media, again, trying to control narratives. And this isn't like that. You don't have that control over channels like mine. But anyway.
And he's talking about the people that want to send threats, you know?
It gets more interesting. So, again, Steve is saying that he was threatened himself.
I don't know, Jesse. I don't know. I'm
family.
Confused.
So I spoke about, he'd asked who the threats were about, and I'd obviously told him the threats were seemingly directed at content and questions surrounding Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, to which he responded, both families have resources and are being protected because neither want to be part of this case. And I thought,
yeah, like, what the hell? What? We discussed it last night. You know, like, we're all like, what? Look at the middle sentence. Just look at the middle sentence. Neither want to be a part of this case. Those were the words we were focusing on. I don't. What do you? I'm confused. I'm confused. I'm confused as hell this morning, right?
And I thought,
This is from yesterday.
they've got resources. So what he's saying is they've got wealthy backgrounds. I imagine they've got they're wealthy families.
What's up, American Princess?
We can speculate all we want about that, but at the end of the day, this is
not just him. Did everybody? Like, who in the hell? I don't know. We'll find. Harsh is gonna have his live today, so we'll find out. You know what I'm saying?
Steve Gonzalez simply saying, and he should know that they've got resource and they're being protected. Protected from what? I thought
I
to
was
myself,
like,
what?
wow.
Protected from what?
I woke up this morning. I was like,
brought in. There must have been a point where something was going to happen and it got stopped. And then that made me think back to the preliminary hearing and the way that the preliminary hearing was set up. We also had a meeting that was supposedly set up with Bethany Funk because she apparently, there was exculpatory evidence. Now, that seems to have been forgotten about, doesn't it? Now, that was an investigator who had been asked to investigate things by the defense team, and during their investigation, they found information and so on and so forth. Someone very kindly resent me the paperwork on that because I was trying to find it in amongst the documents and I couldn't find it. But then all of a sudden, when all this is about and this is bubbling around, bang, we have a grand jury indictment instead, which then, again, leapfrogs over this preliminary hearing and it knocks Bethany Funk off the chessboard. And I thought to myself, they're also turning around saying that they don't want to be part of this case. And I'm thinking to myself, but you're part of it by default. You were in a house, living in a house, and was apparently at this house while this crime happened, and you was the last people to interact with these victims. How can you turn around and say that you don't want to be part of it? You know, don't want to be part of what exactly?
Especially
and what would be
friends.
Like, I can appreciate there's two of them, right? You could turn around and appreciate if one of them turned around and said, no, I just want to move on. I want to move on, live my life. I want to get away from it. And in it, they've arrested the guy. He'll go through due process as him, yada, yada, yada. But we've got both of these girls. Mm-hmm. Both of these girls who are, they're individuals. They've got their own life, their own families, their own support system in place. And they were both, unfortunately, caught up in this situation that you.
Yeah, if you want to, we went what Katrina said, and we went over that last night. I mean, last night's show, this was the topic. If you want to see what we talked about and what we brought up and what we discussed, and last night was a great show when it comes to that. I think we made a lot of sense. Because that was when this video dropped yesterday. When this video dropped, I instantly put a comment. Now I know. Now it makes sense why they sat on that couch with Brian Enton and said, these people were cleared within an hour. They were cleared way too fast. Yeah, but she had a good alibi. But, you know, why wouldn't you? What's the problem with letting somebody know the alibi? I mean, if you want to see it, it was a great show last night. We went over the interviews. We went over the statements. We went over the speculation. We went over it all. Great show last night, and thank you all for hanging out.
Can't escape from. You can't simply say, well, I don't want to be involved in it. I don't want to be involved in it. But you are involved in it, and you have a responsibility to be part of it in the hunt for justice for the 4 people that you live with. If these were your friends, These were genuinely your friends, and that's obviously debatable. People will say, well, they weren't really friends, they just lived together. It don't mean anything. But we've seen the photographs, we've seen them interacting with one another. We've seen the fact that they seem to have been friends, at least at some point, unless we're saying that that friendship descended into something else and there wasn't a friendship there anymore. Perhaps there was arguments, perhaps there was things in the background. We've heard things on the peripheral about fallouts and arguments. We don't know which ones are true and which ones aren't. But the reality is I found it quite bizarre that we're seemingly saying that the two people who this entire case is being built around, that law enforcement saying that, we know the timeline is the way it is because of activity on their phones. And we've got the Howard Bloom article that is seemingly suggesting that they were messaging one another while these crimes were taking place. And look, who knows?
Probably were.
They might be, they might not be. But Steve Gonsalves, out of his own mouth, a guy who is a father of one of the victims and very close to another one of the victims. And, he has been doing his own investigations. He's had his own questions. He's been very vocal about everything. And for him to turn around and say that they are protected, they've got resources, and, they don't want to be part of it, I think to myself, that is a very, very bizarre stance to take. For this to happen, and all of a sudden you wash your hands of everything and walk away, and people wonder why people like myself will question that, why we will have questions, why we won't give it the side eye and be like, what is going on there? It doesn't make sense. I've never seen anything like it. Even in the Kylie Rodney case, and we've all got thoughts and feelings around the Kylie Rodney case, but her friends were very, very vocal and trying to get involved in it. Sammy, for instance, was almost like lead investigator.
What's up, Scarlett?
We can have our own thoughts and opinions on why that was, and I've got a whole playlist about that. But with respect of this, these two individuals in the house at the time with which this happened, a delay of around approximately 8 hours from when it happened, apparently, and calling 911, calling other people over first, and in a position where they now turn around and say, we don't want part of it, we don't want to be anything to do with it. What, you don't want to be part of helping this case be brought to a conclusion and justice be served?
And that's why we discussed what we discussed last night when I was basically saying, well, this is why I think then. Yeah. My computer fan is like going like crazy. You guys hear that? Can you hear my computer fan? Let me know. All right, here's the link for this. Now, this is the response. PCA is messy as hell. Commercial, reach out to me, please. I want to. Oh, I'm ready to sit down and have that combo. Oh, that's gonna be a good show, and I think it'll probably end up being a whole show, won't it, Commercial? It's gonna be fun. All right, so there's the link to this response. Does it block the screen? Not really. Okay. So this is from the family page. It says, I wanted to address a YouTube video brought to my attention today by a foreign creator who claimed to have received threats due to his content. While I initially tried to be helpful, it seems his claims may have been a ploy for attention. We support all the victims associated with the 1122 King Road resistance. We have been threatened, but not by any of our girls' college friends. Individuals like this grifter tarnish the reputation of honest YouTubers, and their manipulative attempts to exploit victims' families should be condemned. Despite our family's stance against baseless content, he turned vague words around to create controversy. Twisting victims against themselves is unacceptable, and we want to be clear we stand united with all the victims of this case. That's a pretty powerful response. When it comes to the resistance word, it says, we support all the victims associated with the 1122 King Road resistance. I don't know. I don't want to take words the wrong way, so I can't tell you what that means. So, I don't know what that, I can't tell you what that means. I don't, we, all right. So this was from Harsh. All right. This is the next response. Let me know if you can hear that damn fan, because I can hear it through my headphones. So if it's loud, let me know. It says, harsh reality, 7 hours ago. He says it has been. Oh, here's the link to this. Let me put this in chat for you guys too. Make sure I get it all. There we go. And this is Harsh's community post. Well, I mean, that was a pretty powerful response. What's up, L. Holloway? I mean, it's a little tiny. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can change it. All right, there we go. All right. Okay. It was a pretty powerful response, though. I mean, come on. That was crazy. All right. So, Harsh, this was 7 hours ago. He will have a live this afternoon. I think it's 4:45 Central, 5:45 Eastern, I believe. I think that's what it was last time I checked. And he states, it has been brought to my attention that Steve has responded to my video. The funny thing is, my video very clearly showed what Steve posted to me via his page's private messenger. I will in tonight's live show the thread, and I will also show what he posted back to me today in my response to that. The truth in this is that I approached Steve regarding my own threads, and Steve responded with what he did, which is true. That's what he said. He reached out to him about his own. He says Steve claims that I misrepresented him when I, in fact, maybe it was Steve misrepresenting Dylan and Bethany by saying what he said. What I posted was exactly what he stated. I didn't add to it and certainly didn't need to misrepresent it. Maybe Steve should stand by the comments he makes rather than make the comments he does and then try to backtrack. You cannot make a statement like he did about Dylan and Bethany that was very, very clear, and then in the next breath say how supportive you are of them. That is disingenuous. People talk about lawsuits and me treading carefully. If it weren't for the fact that I feel for Steve's situation, it would be me taking legal action for making public statements about me because he has to now backpedal. Catch you in the live. Love, Harsh. So, thank you. I appreciate that, Caddy. Yes, and we will be there. Shout out to him. Yeah, right, Jesse. That's a pretty powerful response there. That's why when I woke up this morning and it got sent to me, as soon as I woke up, I saw it and I looked at it and I read it and I was like, whoa. Whoa. You know? But you can't say like, and this is why we appreciate and love Steve, is because he tells you shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when the case first started, And nobody was getting any kind of information. Even the community was like, this is crazy. Nobody's saying anything to us. Why not? This stuff has happened before, and everything's been transparent, and all of a sudden now, and he was the one that was coming out telling us this stuff. You know? That's why he said in one of the interviews that the agency came to him and said, hey, not that we're not on the same path, but you gotta let us catch up, because we have to do the T's and the I's and all that other stuff. Let us catch up. Not that we're not on the same path, but you're too far ahead of us. You got to let us catch up. So you got to, chill back. We remember all of this stuff. That's why, again, when I woke up this morning, I was like, whoa. And so that's why before we went into the response, I wanted to play what the video said first, just to make sure that everything was correctly represented. And who knows, right? We don't know who made the comments, right? It's the family page. It's the family page. But, well, and I think that's why Harsh is going to show, the message thread, because, because really, when we're looking at the statements and he's reaching out about the threat, because the threats were because he was talking about BF and DM. You know what I mean? What's up, Jason? What's up, Yvette? Good morning to you. You shall have your evil CJ coffee cup coming in. We'll be having more coffee cup giveaways probably this weekend. I'm probably going to do it on the CourtTV members only. Probably do the coffee giveaway then. But we'll do another one for everybody on another night too. Right, Yvette? You're the first one. And yeah, you got the pictures for it. You already know what it's going to look like. Well, and Jesse, they were like on that last CBS special that they did, the 1 year later episode on CBS. You could tell the guy was like, so, do you feel that, he's the, well, I don't know, and then he asked Christy and she's like, yeah, 100%. So they are, and they have, but the good thing about it is usually when that tears a couple apart, it's not tearing them apart, and that's the good thing, Exactly, commercial. Yeah. Commercial knows the facts. It's true. All right, so I'm going to show you a little bit of this. This is me kind of walking around. I wanted to show you how close the property is back there. Now, okay. Now, can you see? Hold on, I gotta. But you can't see my cursor on this because it's a video. Shit. All right. If you can see. Okay, if you look like right in the middle of the video and then off to the right, there's that white part. All right. That white part is part of that little porch that's sticking out from 1126 King Road. Now, keep your eye focused on that, and then as I turn, keep your eye focused on it and just look at how close it is. It does not look this close anywhere else except for when you're there. Look at that. I can see The cement from the frickin' sliding glass door right there in the bottom right, top left porch of 1126. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Close as shit. What's up, Aaliyah? Let me zoom. That's how close it is. Now, when you're looking back here, it looks like it's crazy far away. Is it not Sharon? Oh my gosh, hold on. When you're looking from here, it looks pretty far away. And I'm parked right where that blue car is, and I'm outside standing at the back of the crime scene when I'm showing that video. And that's what I'm saying. You look at this and you're like, damn, that's pretty far. You use the Google Earth and you can measure it out and see how many feet. But then when you're here, it's like, whoa, that's way closer. It's just weird. All right. Next thing I'm going to show you guys. Now, I'm going to bring up that picture of the tires, okay? All right. Now I'm going to go full screen again here. And let me switch to this real quick. Now see where these... Come on. Why is it not doing this? What the hell? All right. What's up, Chrissy? That's exactly right. Exactly right. We can definitely all agree that justice is only served when the right persons is held accountable. That's the comment of the day right there. I'm going to go ahead and star that. Thank you, Chrissy. Look at these tire tracks, all right? And this is why I'm showing you guys this footage. Let me throw this up here so I can actually get on the screen. Otherwise, I drop down. Let me do this. There we go. All right. You see the tire track. Now, see where the Moscow PD SUV is. Okay? That's where I am when I'm in this video. Now, look at where the tire tracks are. And watch my video. I'm about to be where that SUV is back there. So if I'm going at a fast rate of speed, I'm going to give you the tire squeal, okay? Again, where does the tire squeal start? And you're showing tire tracks. They're down here. We wouldn't be leaving tire tracks where that tire track started because our tire track would be done before that tire track started if we're leaving the crime scene from there. Well, they're definitely not coming towards us, because if they are, right? Because look at where the tire track is. It's right next to the parking lot. Okay, are they going into the fucking apartment building, or are they turning into 1112? Which one? Which one is it? Because you're either going into the Queen Road Apartments, or you're going into 1112. You're going into one of them. And if you're leaving the crime scene, and that's the tire mark where you're leaving the crime scene, then that means that you're heading towards Queen Road Apartments. Because if you look at the squeal of the tire, the curve is because the car is moving. And then when the tire track starts to straighten out, that's when the car finally gets its grip and starts to go forward instead of sideways. So you're telling me that this tire track is from a person that is going towards Queen Road Apartments at a high rate of speed. And when you look at this footage and you see the tight space, the tight space, you're telling me, here, let me pause it about right there. Let me get rid of my face and this message. Where in the hell you going? Where are you going? If that is supposed to be the tire mark from the crime scene, where are you going? Let me zoom it back in, get rid of my face so I can zoom it up for you. Where are you going? What they are not doing is leaving 1122 King Road. Shout out to you. Thank you for hopping in, Shonda. What's up, Debre? How you doing? My morning coffee. I need to have some more of mine. I haven't had enough. Very narrow space. My sound effects, I don't know. I try. I try. I know I'm not like what's his name on Police Academy. Or what was that dude? He always was able to do those crazy ass sounds and shit from Police Academy. Oh, sweet. Thank you. I can't wait. Appreciate you. No, I don't. Commercial. No, I don't. It's more, I try. Like if you say effort, yes, that's effort. Because I don't want to hurt your ears or make your ears bleed or anything, you know. But I do have like this soundboard, but it doesn't work with this microphone, so I need to get like a. But I don't know. Money's tight, so it's like, do I need it? No. Do I need it? No. But we'll figure something out. There's got to be something, you know. There's got to be something. But again, the tire tracks, like, what the hell, yo? It's never going to make sense to me. Never will. So I wanted to show those two things, not only the footage from back here to show you how close everything is. Crazy. When you're actually there and you're like, what the hell? Like this should feel, this house 1126 should feel like it's way the fuck over there. Why do I feel like it's like right up on right there, the freaking cement slab and everything. All right, so now let me see here. We are going to get into the Richard Battanti affidavit, and so let me see if it's linkable. It should be. Yes. So here's the link if you would like it for your own records. And let me get it switched up and we'll get to my document. I wish it would. There we go. We'll go right there. Beautiful. Just like that. Cool. Surrounding house, the audience. It's crazy how close it is, isn't it? That's one of the first things I yeah. Oh, I love Police Academy. That would be a great movie to watch with everybody some night. Is like a Police Academy movie. That'd be a good movie night movie. Police Academy. Good shit. All right, so this is the Richard Battanti affidavit. Request for foreign subpoena, out-of-state commission, witness Bethany Grace Funk. The undersigned does hereby affirm that the preceding document does not contain the Social Security number of any person, dated this 4th day of April, 2023. And we'll go through this again tonight when we have Yoli on as well. All right, so in the district court, having considered the defendant, am I blocking it? Let me check. It's a new screen. No. Having considered the defendant's ex parte motion for certificate to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness and the affidavit of Richard Battanti in support of said motion in the court being otherwise fully advised hereon, I, Megan E. Marshall, do hereby certify as follows. 1. I am a magistrate judge for the 2nd Judicial Court, District of the State of Idaho, which is a constitutionally and statutorily prescribed court of record in the state of Idaho. In this case, Brian Kober is charged with 4 counts of first degree under Idaho Code, which is punishable. I am the judge assigned to preside over the preliminary hearing that's scheduled to occur on June 26, 2023 at 9 a.m. through June 30th, 2023. Number 4, Bethany Funk may be a material witness for the defendant in this case. Number 4, again, Bethany Funk may be a material witness for the defendant in this case. Number 5, for the reasons stated in the affidavit of Richard Battanti, the presence of Bethany Funk is required at the Latah County Courthouse located at 522 South Adams Street, Moscow, Idaho, beginning at 8 a.m. on June 28, 2023. Number 6, under the laws of the state of Idaho, if Bethany Funk comes into the state in obedience of a summons requiring her presence at this hearing, she will not be subject to arrest or any service of any process relating to matters that arose before she entered the state under the summons. Number 7, this certificate is made for the express purpose of being presented to a judge of a court of record in the state of Nevada in support of an order to compel the attendance of Bethany Funk at the time and place, and for the reasons stated above, witness my hand on this 24th day of March, 2023, Megan Marshall, Magistrate Judge. And let me get to chat real quick, because when I read these things, I can't see your guys' chat. What's up, True Crime? Thank you so much. Appreciate you hopping in. Is it possible to burn rubber in an Elantra? It just, I'm sorry. If what I showed you, or anybody, really, if what I showed doesn't, they got a good cooking show on how to make walking tacos later today. I suggest you check it out, Who doesn't want to learn how to make walking tacos? It's one of the easiest things you can make. Stick to that. All right. I, Julie Fry, Clerk of District Court of the 2nd Judicial District. Oh, no problem. I'll share the links anytime. It's about community, State of Idaho in and for the County of Latah do hereby certify that the Honorable Megan E. Marshall, who signed the foregoing certificate, is a duly commissioned and qualified magistrate judge of the 2nd Judicial District of the State of Idaho in and for the County of Latah. In testimony whereof I hereunto set my hand and official seal of the said court of the State of Idaho on 3/24/23. Exhibit 2. All right, and this is Ann Taylor requesting the assistance and attendance of Bethany Funk by her and Koberger. Now, this is the important part here. This is page 9, and if anybody would like the link again, let me know, and I'll go ahead and drop it. Who was it? Not Jones. Who was the voice? I can't remember. I thought it was Hightower. But I can't remember. I can't remember. Seriously. Oh my God. Yes, everybody, please get better. If you should I take like a few days off of a show so you guys just get some damn rest? Seriously. Do you want me to take a couple days off? I feel so bad. Oh, I feel so bad. I'll take a couple days off. Get some rest. Tackleberry? No. Oh my gosh. It was the dude that made all the noises. I can't, I can't even do it. We'll look it up. I'll look it up. I'll see. We'll see what I can find here in a little bit. I'm going to get through this affidavit, and then I'll do a couple quick searches when we get into this Court TV. All the misinformation that's fueling fear. Okay, Court TV, let's see what you have to say. And I'm telling you right now, if Vinny wears a navy blue jacket, a blue tie, and a white collared shirt, I will fucking flip, because then that'll be 4 episodes in a row. I don't know. Mahoney, you guys are naming all the characters. I just can't remember. Jones? Something. Who was it? Who was the guy on Police Academy that did all them crazy sounds? Larval Jones? Larval? It's that it does. Larval Jones is like, okay, that sounds like it's right. It sounds like it's right. All right. So, State of Idaho. Let me get a little sip of coffee here, too. Okay. State of Idaho, County of Latah. Richard Batanti, being first duly sworn upon oath, deposes and says, 1. I am a criminal investigator hired by the defense to assist in the representation of Brian Koberger. 2. I was asked by appointed counsel Ancy Taylor to investigate the alleged incident which led to the arrest of Brian Koberger. 3. Brian is charged with 4 counts of first-degree M and 1 count of burglary. The deaths took place in a 3-story home. There are 2 bedrooms on each floor, bathrooms on each floor, and a kitchen, dining, and living room on the middle floor. Mr. Koberger is alleged to have entered the house around 4 a.m. while 6 people were sleeping/present, unaliving 4 people in 2 separate rooms. These people were located in 2 bedrooms, one on the 2nd floor and the other on the 3rd floor. Bethany Funk's bedroom was on the 1st floor. The other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. Bethany Funk was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things she heard and things she saw. Bethany Funk was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. During the course of my investigation, it became known to me that Bethany Funk has information material to the charges against Mr. Koberger. Portions of information Miss Funk has is exculpatory to the defendant. Miss Funk's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. Bethany Funk resides in the state of Nevada, and it is necessary to subpoena this witness because the witness's testimony is material and necessary to this case. Richard Batanti, dated the 22nd day of March, 2023. Well, commercial, you know how I always talk about my experiences and I compare it to smelling salt, and I'm telling you, okay, well, if you know how potent smelling salt is, then you know how potent the smell I'm trying to tell you, because it's like 100 billion times worse, stronger, more potent. So what that means is, who says that the surviving roommates didn't leave shortly after the person left, and then they didn't come back until when everybody was called, and that's why they came back with friends. So it's just stating that when the police showed up, that she was there. Not stating that she wasn't, not stating that she was the whole time. So there's been, since we're talking about all this stuff, and, we got the stuff, yesterday's show, last night's show, you got Harsh's live coming out. You got this. I was like, I want to go ahead and read through this Richard Batanti affidavit and go ahead and share it to anybody that doesn't have it. And again, if you don't, here's the link again. There's the link. Because I'm telling you right now, yeah, they probably like, what the hell's going on? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And like I've said, ain't nobody staying in there 8 hours. If that part, when I was on Andrew and Laney's show yesterday, we did discuss that. And if that part is part of the episode that they're going to be putting out, you'll understand what I'm saying. And there's no way that anybody, and I'm telling you from personal experience when it comes to the scent of it, there's no way anybody is staying in that property for 8 freaking hours. Because if sticking shit up your nose and plugging it, it doesn't matter. You still have to breathe. Are you not able to taste when you breathe? Think about a skunk. When a skunk sprays, can you not taste it? I don't give a fuck if you have shit plugged up your nose and it's... No, it don't matter. You still need to breathe. That too, Aaliyah. They still need to breathe. I mean, I'm sorry. You can taste it. It's that potent. Medicated, I'm telling you right now. I got a really strong stomach, and I'm telling you, I even was like, no, ain't nobody chilling in that fucking house for 8 hours. Ain't happening. Were they present? Yes, they were present. Do I think that they left? Hell yeah, I think they left. Do I think that's why the back door sliding door was left open? Hell yeah, that's why I think the sliding back door was left open. Because you ain't gonna enter the house and shut the damn door either. I wouldn't. I'm just. They almost had to, Katrina. And because they had to, then you're like, fuck, what do we say? What do we say? Because then now, with this happening, and then we're awake, and then we leave, oh my gosh, are they gonna think that we fucking did it? Now, this is all speculation. That's what we are. Look at the bottom down there. A little ticker. Exactly, Leah. It's not. It's a scent you cannot describe to anybody. That's why I compare it to smelling salt. If you can think of a better comparison, Leah, let me know. The best thing I can think about is smelling salt, the potency of it, and then multiplying it by a shit ton. Like, that's the best way. If you've ever experienced a smelling salt, and yeah, take that times a bunch. They were already lawyered up. And that's why I come to the conclusion in my own mind that the statements were suggested questions. I mean, the shit that I come up with and the shit that I say or speculate isn't shit that I'm like, oh my gosh, I bet this is going to shock people. No, it's about in my mind, because this is how my brain works. It's like a million fucking tiles are laid out, you know, and I'm focused on every single one of them at the same time. And it's like, I'm running analytics in my head. I'm running percentages in my head. I'm basically doing all these tests in my head, and I'm running all these numbers, and I'm like, what the fuck makes sense? And then that's when I come up with what I say. Because you're looking at it from like all these different angles. It's like, brrr, what makes the most sense? And it just does. All right. To me, anyway. You know, to me, anyway. I'm just me. All right. So this is the episode from November 23rd, 2022. And this is Court TV discussing misinformation fueling fear. So I'm really interested to hear what they have to say, considering they're the ones that are usually well, I'm not going to say they, because Chanley Painter's a diamond, but Vinny, man, that dude, he goes crazy sometimes. Well, commercial, when you get called and you're not expecting, you know, you're not getting called because somebody's, you know, let's be honest, you know something's wrong. If you're inside that property, whether you've been around that scent or not, you know something's wrong. It's not a normal fucking scent. You know something's wrong. But when you're like EMS and you're being called to the property for something that like that you're not prepared for, because you would be prepared before you would have your booties and your gloves and all sorts of stuff before you even go in that property. It would have been treated differently. And of course, they probably went in there thinking that they were going to try and wake somebody up or something. And I'm going to tell you right now, before you even got to the back door, I guarantee you're already going, whoa, before you even get to the back door. I don't know. I took it as they were cleared within an hour, but you know. Yeah. Especially male. Be like, what? Yeah. What's up, Crystal? That too. It all comes down to the university. Don't upset the students, because we need that enrollment. We don't want to make them not come back. Eddie Murphy. What's up, dog fan? How are you? All right, so here's the link to this episode. This is Court TV. Let's see. Let's see who's spreading this misinformation, Vinny. And since misinformation is a topic today, I thought this would be a perfect Court TV episode, and it's only 10 days after the crime. So let's see who's spreading it, Vinny. It's not Vinny.
It's the biggest murder mystery in the country right now. 4 college students murdered in their sleep in their home next to the campus of the University of Idaho. Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan, all stabbed multiple times by an unnamed, unknown killer. Meanwhile, unanswered questions and fear are permeating the air around campus. Tonight, the latest on reports of a screaming woman being chased by a man last night in town. Talk about a skinned dog a few miles away. And a report from September concerning a young man flashing a knife. What is happening in my...
Yeah, that's a good comparison, Commercial Zone, because they supported him like crazy, did they not? I don't think they jeopardized anything. I think if anything, they were holding Ellie accountable is what they were doing. That's why we appreciate and love Steve, you know. Rest assured, yeah. Aw. Nina. Right, that's what I was when you see you know, I don't think I got too graphic about it on their show yesterday, but when you see Law Office Andrew, my appearance on there, and we discussed that, you'll see what I'm saying when it comes to that. You're fast tracking, right, Aaliyah? You're fast tracking the natural process with those types of injuries. No, I don't know why Eddie Murphy was brought up.
Moscow, is it safe? Then we take a closer look at the inside and the areas surrounding the home where the murders took place. We are live in Idaho from the crime scene with all the latest information. I'm Vinny Politan. Thanks for joining us here tonight on Closing Arguments.
You guys, look at this. This is the 4th episode in a row. Who was with me? Oh, this is crazy. Who was with me 2 nights ago when we had the Vinny turkey? 2 nights ago, we had a Vinny turkey. This is what is it when it's 4 strikes? I know, Nelly. It's crazy. The same, like normally it's like pastel pink, pastel purple, pastel blue, pastel green. You know, like usually it's like, hey, what pastel tie is Vinny wearing tonight? And then 2 nights ago, we had the Vinny turkey where he had the same outfit on each episode. One was only 6 or 9 days apart. And then I didn't even, this is nuts. I'm just bringing it up because it's talking about misinformation, and that's the big topic of today. And I was like, well, it's only 10 days after the crime took place. That'd be a perfect old nugget to go through. Maybe I need to pre-watch my old nuggets, and then because I think 4 is enough. 4 in a row. I don't know. What's 4 strikes? I need to find out. But 4 in a row is enough. I need to pre-watch the next Court TV episode and make sure that we mix it up for Vinny. Yeah, the clip-on night. I'm sorry. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was like, what? I'm sorry about that. Man, okay, yeah, I need to pre-watch these.
And the mystery continues in
I'm sorry,
Idaho.
Vinny. I'm
This
sorry.
case still not solved. Not solved. And that's important. And it's important for many different reasons. And we begin with the victims in this case and their families. For them, this loss immeasurable, a huge void that these families are experiencing. And I've spoken to so many families of victims, and to understand where they are at this point where you've lost a loved one, there's this huge void inside. You know they're not coming back. Your daughters, your son, your sister, your brother, not coming back. So for these victims, their attention as they try to work through the incredible despair is they want answers and they want justice. Knowing that it's not going to bring them closure, knowing that it's not going to fill that void, but it'll at least give them something. That's what they latch onto. So for them, these times are very difficult when we're talking about a case still not solved. For folks on the campus and the students, many of whom have left for the holiday weekend, but some of whom may be coming back, there is absolute fear. Absolute fear that there's a killer on the loose because they don't know who did it, why they did it, where they are, who they are, will they strike again, is anyone safe? And that's real. That's absolutely real. And you know, because of the response from law enforcement flooding the streets with security, but can that last forever? You know, until the case is solved, no one's going to feel comfortable. Everyone's going to be a little bit looking over their shoulders. There's going to be moments where you don't want to walk across campus by yourself. All things that maybe some took for granted before this. It's a completely different place now because it's still not solved. And then you've got these other strange incidents that are happening in Moscow. Strange things that, you know, if there wasn't this horrific quadruple murder, you might not pay a lot of attention to, but now you kind of zero in on it and everything becomes a little bit bigger and a little bit scarier. Let me begin with the Blaine Street incident that happened last night. Okay, there's a release from the Moscow police. I'm going to read part of it for you. Just before 5:15 p.m. last night, that's in the middle of our show, 911 received a call reporting suspicious activity in the 600 block of Blaine Street. A female caller informed the dispatcher that she saw a male in the front passenger seat of her vehicle when she opened the car door. The female who was with her slammed the car door and ran screaming from the car and called 911. Multiple neighbors heard the girl screaming and came to assist. They checked the area. They didn't find anyone. The neighbors told responding officers that they had not seen anyone in or exit the vehicle. A passerby informed the sisters of seeing a male chasing them and left before speaking with the officers. They were unable to confirm these details, and the officer was unaware of this information during the time of the call. Police checked the area. Officers contacted a male matching the description, but learned he and a friend had just returned from a restaurant. And the male approached the sisters to help. The male withdrew and waited to talk with the officers when accused of being involved in all of this. Let me go right out to CourtTV legal correspondent Chanley Painter, joining us live tonight from Moscow, Idaho, in front of the Mad Greek restaurant where two of the victims, Xana and Madison, work. Chanley, great to see you tonight. This incident last night is taking place while we're on the air talking about what happened inside that house. What more do we know?
Oh gosh, now he's gonna say that because he brought it up. That's why they did that in the middle of his show now. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's right. It really does speak to this community on edge. And Vinny, as soon as we noticed that alert go out after your show, the Moscow Police Department immediately reposted this alert saying it didn't happen. It was unfounded report. But today they released what you just read, new information, more details to explain their really quick post last night. And here's what more we've learned from the Moscow Police Department about that Blaine Street incident. It says, based on their knowledge at the time, officers closed the incident as unfounded. This term is used to close an incident that cannot be initially substantiated. However, if additional information is obtained, the incident can be reopened. It goes on to say online reports created immediate speculation that implied there was a link to this incident with the ongoing homicide investigation. We urge residents to remain alert and vigilant. Additionally, we remind the
Oh boy. If you care about the community and it's 10 days after the crime took place, right, remain alert, but this is nothing. Really? You got some college girl calling police, telling them she saw some dude in her frickin' vehicle, and this was 10 days after this crime was committed. You have no idea who committed the crime. The person's still out there. No, don't worry about it. But remain alert. Vigilant. Vigilant. Right? That's the word they always... Vigilant. Remain vigilant and aware. Alert. Give me a damn break.
They checked the area. They didn't find anyone. The neighbors told responding officers that they had not seen anyone in or exit the vehicle. A passerby informed the sisters of seeing a male chasing them and left before speaking with the officers. They were unable to confirm these details, and the officer was unaware of this information during the time of the call. Police checked the area. Officers contacted a male matching the description, but learned he and a friend had just returned from a restaurant. And the male approached the sisters to help. The male withdrew and waited to talk with the officers when accused of being involved in all of this. Let me go right out to CourtTV legal correspondent Chanley Painter, joining us live tonight from Moscow, Idaho, in front of the Mad Greek restaurant where two of the victims, Xana and Madison, work. Chanley, great to see you tonight. This incident last night is taking place while we're on the air talking about what happened inside that house. What more do we know?
Yeah, that's right. It really does speak to this community on edge. And Vinny, as soon as we noticed that alert go out after your show, the Moscow Police Department immediately reposted this alert saying it didn't happen. It was unfounded report. But today they released what you just read, new information, more details to explain their really quick post last night. And here's what more we've learned from the Moscow Police Department about that Blaine Street incident. It says, based on their knowledge at the time, officers closed the incident as unfounded. This term is used to close an incident that cannot be initially substantiated. However, if additional information is obtained, the incident can be reopened. It goes on to say online reports created immediate speculation that implied there was a link to this incident with the ongoing homicide investigation. We urge residents to remain alert and vigilant. Additionally, we remind the public and media that investigative releases of information will be through official channels. It has been a constant fight for these authorities to redirect react to official releases as rumors, speculation, and misinformation seem to abound in the community. But it does say they have actually given more details that this possibly could have happened. But I want to take a look at the locations here. You know, I'm here in downtown Moscow, about 5 or 6 minutes from the crime scene, a 5 or 6 minute drive from the crime scene, as you mentioned, Vinny. But let's look at a map where that crime scene is located and where this Blaine Street incident is alleged to have happened, the 600 block of Blaine Street. It's about 1.8 miles distance between the two, not far at all. I mean, everything here in Moscow, such a small town, is not a far drive at all. And of course, there is no traffic in this town of around 27,000 people, especially with those nearly 11,000 students home for fall break, not here on campus, Vinny. Now, the father of those two girls involved in this incident released a statement today, and this was added to the officer's press release. The father says, in this Thanksgiving season, the family thanks God for protecting the girls, the neighbors for how quickly they came out to assist the girls in their distress, and the Moscow Police Department for a quick and professional response last night. We appreciate their desire to help provide clarification, but still not a lot of clarification ultimately, Vinny, because they still say it's a closed incident. It was unfounded. It could be reopened. And they still don't clearly say it's not connected in any way to the homicides.
But to me, it's part of everything that's happening. Everyone is absolutely on edge because this
Right.
case is unsolved.
Right.
A lot of talk about the skinned dog incident. What have we found out about that? And what are investigators saying about that one?
Yeah, that story, I mean, just the headline, skinned dog not far from this quadruple stabbing death. Vinny made headlines, of course, and almost went viral. The authorities shooting down any relation between that and this incident. But the Daily Mail on November 20th actually reported this in their publication, saying that meanwhile, local sleuths on Facebook have connected the killings to the story of a man who found his neighbor's dog skinned alive just 2 miles.
How did they connect? Like, how do you connect? How do you? Because people are talking about it. It's connected. They've connected. They have connected. Who the hell connected what? Who connected anything? How do you say, yeah, that's the person that committed these I've connected the what? That's Daily Mail. Now they do a lot of great work. I can't stand their website because the pop-ups are ridiculous, but the videos are good. Local sleuths on Facebook have connected.
Away from where they were last seen. So that again increased the anxiousness of this community, not only the skinned dog, but also there was another weird animal killing weeks before this dog. Well, the authorities here, the Moscow PD PIO, answered that question and put it to rest. Let's watch.
Apparently there's a report of a skinned animal, skinned dog. And so our detectives are aware of that, and that has been reviewed. And in no way, shape, or form do they believe at this time that that has any connection to this case at all.
So authorities don't believe that incident has anything to do with this homicide. People still believe it may, though, here, as you know, in communities, with something so odd, bizarre, weird, and just evil happening so close to where these murders took place.
Right. Why wouldn't they? You know what I'm saying? They have no idea what the hell's going on. They're not being told anything. You have the students talking to the local TV stations like, there's been other crimes that have taken place. Even a local reporter was like, I remember a case from a couple years ago that was kind of like this, and they were never this secret about stuff. You even had local TV station anchors getting frustrated because this crime took place and everybody's being so damn quiet about it. Of course, if you're not telling anybody anything, the public is in the dark when something like this happens, whether it's somebody calling in a 911 call reporting that somebody was in the passenger side of her vehicle, or somebody calling in about a skinned animal. I mean, what the hell? It's just like when you showed up at the frickin' house and said that the community didn't have anything to worry about. It's the same speech. It's the same speech. Yeah, influence. Don't scare the fucking students. Oh, right. Yeah, no report needed. No report needed. And I can't believe all these people creating all this speculation out there when it's been 10 days and we have no fucking clue what's going on and we ain't even telling anybody. And we just had our press conference. We waited a few days to have a press conference too. What happens on any of these other crimes? They have people showing up, having a press conference right away. MPD? Well, let's wait a few days. Let's wait a few days. It does take a special breed of person to do that. Yeah, it's the influence. Don't want to scare that we don't want to. The community has nothing to worry about, Chief Fry. All the way back to when his students were under a shelter in place and they couldn't leave the fucking library until the community didn't have anything to worry. The community doesn't have anything to worry about, right, Chief Fry?
Now, there was something else that came out very early in the investigation. I remember it was posted. There was a vandal alert. Now, the vandal, the University of Idaho, they're known as the Vandals. So there was an alert sent out on September 12th. What was that alert about? And again, this is 2 months before the murders.
Yeah, this is Vandal Nation. You can look for signs all over town saying Vandal Strong. Now, that's the slogan after this quadruple homicide, Vinny. But yes, about a month before, in September, a concerned parent shared an email alert, this Vandal alert from September with Fox News Digital. Here's what the alert said. It said a group of students were threatened by a man with a knife on Paradise Path. The suspect was described as a white male, 18 to 22, wearing black clothes and a black baseball cap. No one was harmed. Well, this rumor, this theory, this supposed relationship between that, maybe with this homicide, came up at a press conference and the chief of police addressed it. Let's watch.
On September 12th, there was a vandal alert that was sent out about a potential stabbing threat on Paradise Path. Does this have any connection with what we've seen so far?
Not that we know of it, but we're following up every lead. Every piece of information we get, we are following up to ensure that nothing has gone unturned. We want to have the individual identified, who is the suspect of this eventually. So we are literally looking into every aspect of everything.
So of these 3 incidents that have really made the circuits around here, the police definitively ruling out that skinned dog incident, but of the other 2, not as clear, saying that they weren't connected to this homicide. A lot of unanswered questions continue here in Moscow, Idaho, Vinny.
Absolutely. The biggest one, who is responsible? Chanley, stand by. I want to bring in our guest tonight. We've got some heavy hitters tonight. Join us tonight in Los Angeles, California, Jim Clemente, former FBI agent and profiler, executive producer of the new true crime podcast series, Talk to Me, and a SpyX.com expert. Great to see you. In Long Island, New York, former homicide detective Pat Portella. Awesome. In Salt Lake City, Utah, retired police commander, host of the Profiling Evil podcast, Mike King. And in New York, Professor Emeritus of Forensic Science at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, Dr. Lawrence Kobylinski. I told you the heavy hitters tonight. Great to have everyone here. Amazing. Jim, let me start with you. All these other incidents, you're trying to figure out who this person or people are. Is this stuff relevant? Is it important? Can it be dismissed quickly? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think certainly it's relevant. You have to look at every possible lead, as the police officer said. But in terms of the skinned dog, people are making sort of connections between what we used to call the homicidal triad, bedwetting, cruelty to animals, and fire setting being a precursor to serial killing. And typically that kind of thing takes place over many years, not over a matter of weeks. A transition from animal killing to dogs, to people. Killing dogs to people usually takes years to develop from that. But the only incident that I would say that actually is very troubling is obviously a man wielding a knife and threatening students. That is a potential connection, but as he said, they have no absolute connection to it at this point. And I would expect that further investigation would be able to reveal whether or not these two incidents would be related.
Pat Portella, you're investigating a homicide here, 4 homicides. When it's this high profile and there's this much chatter, everyone's going to talk about everything. Is it difficult to stay focused? Is it a distraction, or can you in fact get some additional information and leads when everyone is talking about it and everyone is providing whatever information they think may be relevant?
Well, you certainly want the public to chime in and tell you what they see and what's going on. As far as it being a distraction, you have a lead detective on the case, and he's got a guy that's assisting him. And then you have all these other detectives that are working around peripherally. And those are the guys that are going to follow up these leads that are coming in. The community has a heightened sense of alertness, so they're going to be calling the police for anything that may be related. And everything has to be investigated. It takes time, it takes manpower, but the lead detective is focused on all the other detectives gathering this information and bringing it to him. And they kind of sort through that. So it's not really a distraction to him, but it's definitely something that has to be looked into, and every lead has to be ran down.
Mike King, Profiling Evil podcast. This is evil, but you've got a campus of young people who got out of town. Some of them may come back, some may stay home and study remotely, but you still have people who live there. They are on edge. They are scared. And I could see there being many more reports before this thing is solved of people making calls, people being scared, like those 2 young women who are screaming, running away from their cars.
Exactly. And this is really a challenge for law enforcement to try to keep the community calm and trusting that they are doing everything that they can possibly do. And without getting people ramped up, get people to really think about what they're doing that increases their risk, what they can do to minimize their risk. But I'll tell you, when something like this happens, it brings the ghost stories out of the woodwork, and people start seeing things that may be there and may not be there. And police unfounding this case is really interesting to me, Vinny, on the girls, because are they unfounding the case because they don't believe it? Or are they unfounding it because, again, they're trying to keep the community calm? And I go back to Jim.
Boom, right there. He says it right there. Thank you, Mike King. They're just trying to keep the community calm. He says it right here.
Exactly. And this is really a challenge for law enforcement to try to keep the community calm and trusting that they are doing everything that they can possibly do. And without getting people ramped up, get people to really think about what they're doing that increases their risk, what they can do to minimize their risk. But I'll tell you, when something like this happens, it brings the ghost stories out of the woodwork, and people start seeing things that may be there and may not be there. And police unfounding this case is really interesting to me, Vinny, on the girls, because are they unfounding the case because they don't believe it?
or are they unfounding it? Because again, they're trying to keep the community calm. And I go back to what Jim was saying at the very beginning. When you look at these kinds of cases, it really is boiling down to what is the fantasy of this predator, or there may be predators, but what is the fantasy that's driving it? And is it possible that this was the guy on the mountain pass with the knife working out things, and when his fantasy falls apart, he has to kind of refix it all in his brain and try something else? And is that trying something else for kids that are asleep? Because I just don't believe he would have had the courage to go in and try to control them. There's nothing suggesting bondage or anything else.
Dr. Kobylinski, the scene here, we've gotten some descriptions, not a ton. The one thing that they've said, all four were asleep in bed when they were stabbed multiple times. There were some defensive wounds on one or two of the victims here. What are your thoughts about the evidence that has been gathered at the scene? Do you think that leads to an arrest, or that only helps prosecute someone after they capture them some other way?
Well, Aaliyah, and this is the thing, when local LE reaches out first, local LE pretty much dictates what they can do. If you want to look at a case, go back to just type in Evil CJ in the YouTube search bar, type in Evil CJ and then Henrietta. And when you see the shows where we covered that case, you will see how lead investigators asked for assistance from a higher agency because they could dictate what they do in the investigation. And the reason I bring up Henrietta is because that is a case where the local LE was fumbling so bad that the higher agency had no choice but to take over the investigation. So that's a perfect case to kind of show like how local LE can reach out and then dictate what they do in the investigation until it becomes a point where the investigation is just too out of hand, where they have no choice but to take it over. It's one of those cases that's a great example of how that takes place. So any local can reach out first, and then that's how they can dictate how they are being helped. So it is, unfortunately, with some of the corrupt departments, it is a tactic to keep certain things at bay.
I think the evidence at the scene is crucial. The tips from the public are great, but this case is going to turn on the physical evidence. The autopsy report is very crucial. There's a lot of information the police are withholding, but we already understand that each victim was stabbed multiple times, which tells me about the passion and rage on the part of the killer. But there's a lot of evidence here at the scene. It's a very complex scene. There are going to be people that do blood spatter pattern analysis.
What's up, AR? Thank you.
DNA analysis, fingerprint analysis, trace evidence analysis. And it's that kind of information that could lead to the identification of a suspect. Remember that fingerprints and DNA are actually ways to come up with the name or the identity of the individual who committed these crimes. And I think putting it all together, looking at the physical evidence is the way to go. Eventually, it'll lead to a particular person, and they will have a suspect and a murder weapon.
Hopefully sooner rather than later with this town on edge. All right, our guests are staying with us. Today in Mount Vernon, Washington, the Chapin family attended a memorial service for their son, Ethan, who was one of the 4 victims in this tragedy. Ethan's mother, Stacy, spoke to reporters thanking friends, media, the Moscow Police Department, and members of the public for their support. KING 5 in Washington captured some of what she said.
The Moscow Police Department, who now carry the burden every day, not only for us, but for all of the impacted families and the many strangers across the country. Your outreach and kind words are profoundly touching. Please know we now consider all of you friends.
So incredibly tough for all those families. When we come back, this has been described as a targeted attack, and new information tonight reports that one of the victims may have had a stalker. What that all means when we come back. Plus, coming up next hour.
And I need to know, what's 4 strikes in a row at the bowling alley? Because I have to add that in the title now. It's not a Vinny turkey, it's a Vinny something else. Man, this episode's a good one as an old nugget, you know? Damn, here. If you want the link to this, and what Mike King said was spot on. They're either doing this or they're just trying to make sure the community is calm. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Trying to make sure the community's calm. Just like in the very beginning, the community didn't have nothing to worry about when they first got to the property. Mr. Green calling up Fry. The community has nothing to worry about, right, Fry? With the clip-on tie? Maybe that's what... Oh, maybe that's what... Maybe President Green was going to expose Fry for his clip-on tie. Oh, shit. There's your boom for the day.
In Savannah, Georgia, 20-month-old Quentin Simon was reported missing on October 5th.
Aw.
Now.
Oh, that was such a sad case. Wow. That was such a sad case. That poor little guy. Oh.
Day, 11:10 Central, only on CourtTV.
A 4-bagger? Oh, so that's what it really is called? A 4-bagger? Oh, yeah. From the Chrissy, are you talking about the local TV station drone footage? Because I do have that as well. Right, yeah. No, they said go home. They said go home. I bet that's what it is, though. He was like, Mr. Fry, I will expose your clip-on tie. No, don't.
Based on details of the scene, we believe this was an isolated, targeted attack on our victims.
Oh.
There was no burglary. There was no robbery. There was no hostage taking. There was no nothing. Just a crime and gone.
Based on the information from the scene, the facts that we know, the autopsy report, those types of things, we really still do believe that it was a targeted event.
We believe they're targeted because we take a totality of all the circumstances that we're looking at. Do we know any one person that it was targeted?
Right, because you guys are so fucking experienced at this kind of crime, right? Training records? What's wrong with offering training records then? So experienced. I mean, the lead investigator, 2 years. Wow.
We're not able to say at this point in time due to our investigation.
They've repeated targeted time and time again, but we've got some new information today. Let's go right out to CourtTV legal correspondent Chanley Painter in Moscow, Idaho. Targeted, we don't know who is targeted, but there were some reports tonight that have been coming out about a potential stalker in all of this. Chanley, what can you tell us, and what is law enforcement saying tonight?
Yeah, Vinny, I was just able to confirm with the public information officer of the Idaho State Police, now serving as that communications officer for the Moscow Police Department, Aaron Snell, that authorities are aware that Kaylee Gonsalves, one of the 4 victims, may have had a stalker, and they are investigating that possibility. He would not confirm yes or no she had a stalker, but he would confirm that they are aware that that is a possibility, and they are investigating it. At any moment, Vinny, we are expecting the Moscow Police Department to release one of their per usual updates online, and as soon as we get that alert with hopefully some more details than that, I can bring those to you here live.
Absolutely. So stand by, Chandler. I want to bring back in our guests. Jim Clementi, former FBI agent, profiler, executive producer of this new true crime podcast series, Talk to Me. What about a stalker? And we're talking about, they keep saying targeted. And I need a little explanation as to what a targeted attack is and how that could potentially relate to a stalker when we're talking about 4 victims.
Well, Vinny, the thing is that this crime was an extremely high risk for the offender. To enter a dwelling with 6 adults who are living there is a very risky thing, unless you know someone, 1 or more of the people inside, or 2, you've been engaging in pre-attacks
or you do it at separate times. And that's why I come to the separate time part of my opinion.
Surveillance or stalking of 1 or more of the people inside. What that does is it reduces the risk, because then you know something about them. This does not look like a random event where somebody just happened into this place and started killing people. There were 4 people killed.
It's true. It's a lot. As the person committing the crime, if you are literally doing that for one after another, you are like, if you're into analytics, you're like, yeah, that percentage is pretty freaking low. So I should probably split it up. I'm just saying.
Killed, and then they stopped. There were 2 more people who were asleep at the same time and could have been victims, but they weren't. And I think that's what leads police to believe that this was a targeted attack rather than just a spree killing by some, psychotic killer.
Pat Portella, targeted, but there's 4 people that are gone. How do we reconcile that part of it? The fact that you have multiple victims. Is it possible to target 4 people? I mean, that night you had Maddie and Kaylee were together, and Ethan and Xana were together. All 4 of them weren't together that night. So what are your thoughts about all that?
Well, it's certainly something that the investigator is going to have to delve into. You have 4 victims. You have 4 separate lifestyles. You're going to have to look into each one of those. Investigators are going to have to break down the type of lives that they left, who they had interactions with. Again, as it was just said, that's a high risk going into a house with that many people. It's not a random incident. Obviously, it's a targeted thing, but who is the targeted person? Which one of those victims? Is it 1 person? Is it 2? Are the others just collateral damage, from being in the house? So every one of those lives and the lifestyle that they live, they have to be looked into by the investigators, and they have to take a hard look at it. And certainly, if they're saying that there was a stalker there, that's going to, raise your hairs up, and the investigators are going to get right on that, and they're going to have to look into that and see if there's any truth behind that.
All right, we got a lot more to get to. When we come back, we're going to take you back to the scene. Chanley Painter there today, showing you everything that surrounds this house. How does a killer get in? How does a killer get out? Our experts stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
There's the booty.
7,800 now.
No. There's a booty.
Welcome back. We're going to go right back out to Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter in Idaho. Chanley, I know you were walking around the crime scene today. What do you have for us?
Vinny, before I actually get to what I learned at the crime scene today, I have more details on the possibility that one of the victims, Kaylee Gonsalves, had a stalker and what the authorities are saying tonight. Minutes ago, they posted this update. This is what it says. Investigators have looked extensively into information they received about Kaylee Gonsalves having a stalker. They have pursued hundreds of pieces of information related to this topic and have not been able to verify or identify a stalker. It goes on to say, if you have more information that can help detectives, please contact that tip line 208-883-7180 or the email for the Moscow Police Department. So as of right now, they have not been able to verify that she had a stalker, but the investigation is ongoing and continues, Vinny. And I have to say again, I've been at that crime scene, that home where Kaylee Gonsalves and the 4 other victims and the 2 surviving roommates, they lived and they were the night of the murders. And I put together, along with my photographer and my producer, this package that shows you around the property and possible points of entry if in fact someone like a stalker had anything to do with this crime. Let's watch. I'm here at the home where 4 University of Idaho students were found brutally murdered just steps from campus. This is week 2. This is what the crime scene looks like. You can see that community members continue to bring flowers and photos and notes here as a growing memorial out front of the home. But what you also notice is that the authorities still have the home and the property blocked off with this police tape. Let's give you a closer look. This is the front right side of the home. As you can see, the yellow crime scene tape extends up, connecting to the neighbor's home next door, and then continues up the hill around a rock past the squad car with an officer on duty keeping this property protected, making sure no one passes the crime scene tape, and then extends up the hill past the home, up past to all the way towards the backyard where the neighbor on the back side of the home's fence is located. So I walked back up this way a little bit to give you a different angle, showing the neighboring houses on the right side, the front side of this home. We can't walk around that direction because this property is right next to private property, the neighbor's property, and that's blocked off and not accessible. But this is a different angle of what that would look like on the right side with the crime scene tape. I've moved up the hill a little more. I'm now in the corner where the property is of the crime scene and where you can see just steps to my right, the neighboring apartment building complex where many people live. The man that lives in this immediate apartment told me that this area, this corner, usually is pitch black when the sun goes down. But since these murders happened, the man says that the light bulb has been replaced in this light over his front door, illuminating this area. I also want to point out to my left on the road, right here, you can see tire tracks on the asphalt. This is
Remember when I told you guys it was by the stairs where you go in between to go to Taylor? It's right there. Look at where they're investigating. So if you look at these tire tracks, if they're going away from the house, they're going right into those apartments. They're going right. That's what I'm saying. They must have hit 88 mile an hour before. Where's the license plate that's spinning on the ground? Back in time. That is a great picture. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. That's a great picture. People be reaching, man. People be reaching. Look at those tracks. It's going right into this. Here, let me zoom in on the picture here. Hold on. Oh, where in the hell? Shit, where did it go? Huh. Hold on one second. I'll have to take it again. I don't know where it went. Failed to open. What? Man, I had an update. There we go. I had an update before the show, and I don't know if it... All right, let me try this again. What the heck? All right. All right. See these tire tracks? They're coming. And look, you got this one and you got this one. You're telling me it went right into this frickin'... All right, now look at this. Pay attention to this, okay? See where that girl's sitting? Where that girl's sitting? That's where this is at. You see? Where that girl's sitting is where that's at. It's gonna hit the car. It's gonna hit the apartment. I don't know. Just saying. This is a good video right here. This gold nugget. It's a good video. Real good video.
This is where crime scene forensics teams were measuring and photographing this evidence just a few days ago. Okay, now I'm making my way up the front left side of this crime scene property. I'm following the yellow police tape. I wouldn't, where I'm standing right now, be able to safely make my way to the front.
And look at that slope, you guys. I'm telling you. When you watch me leave, I'm sorry. If you are going at a high rate of speed, I don't even think you'll turn in the corner. I don't even think you're turning the corner. I literally think if you go at a high rate of speed, you're sliding into that fucking dumpster. And when you're driving down that road, you don't know who's coming up Queen Road. You don't. So you know how reckless that would be if you commit a crime, you're leaving the scene of the crime, you're exiting at a high rate of speed right here, and then all of a sudden you get fucking T-boned into the driver's side of your freaking car? Like, oh, so then you get busted? That makes no damn sense. Look, you're going this way, you're going to go at a high rate of speed and freaking slide right into that damn dumpster. Look at how close I am to the dumpster. And I'm not even at a high rate of speed. I'm not even at a high rate of speed. And then you're where that girl's sitting. I don't know. You saw. Listen, you don't know who's coming down this road, and you see how close I am to that dumpster. Like, watch how close I get to the dumpster. It's a narrow freaking road. Like, look at how close I get. And you're telling, like, I don't know. Hey, whatever. We'll see. We'll see. All right, we'll get back to this episode here.
I also want to point out to my left on the road, right here, you can see tire tracks on the asphalt. This is where
Going right where that girl is. Okay.
crime scene forensics teams were measuring and photographing this evidence just a few days ago. Okay, now I'm making my way up the front left side of this crime scene property. I'm following the...
Damn, that's crazy. Look at how bright that good vibe light sign is.
Tire tracks.
Whoa. Look at how bright.
On the ass.
This is, okay, holy shit. This is the daytime. Holy fuck, look at this.
This is where crime scene forensics teams were measuring and photographing this evidence just a few days ago. Okay, now I'm making my way up.
This is, look at that. This is way bright. Holy shit, this is way brighter than what any picture. Whoa. Look at how bright that good vibe light sign is. Trying to see if it gets a better, like where you could, I mean, you know, it's the good vibe light sign. Holy shit. Look at how bright that is. Here, they're, you know, you see some of these pictures, you know, with the pink or whatever, right? You see some of the pictures with the pink. It wasn't pink. It was fucking yellow. It wasn't pink. It was yellow. So yellow is damn near like a fucking light bulb, so that's going to brighten your face even more. Please, people, stop saying that they couldn't have seen the bushy eyebrows right there. Stop saying they couldn't have seen the bushy eyebrows because the pink light wasn't bright enough, because you're going off a picture from the frickin' 360 tour. Right fucking there. The light is yellow. That's like a fucking light bulb. And look at how bright that is. And this is the daytime. Yeah, so what? The lights are off inside the property. So what? That's with light coming in for the daytime because there ain't no curtains on there. Holy shit. Hold on. Damn, the light's yellow. It's not fucking pink. Wow. It's fucking yellow. It's like a fucking light bulb. Here, the whole time we're thinking it's freaking pink. Like this. I'm gonna show you. Where in the hell is it on? It was on my Twitter. Fuck it, I'm not gonna look for it. You guys probably already seen it anyway. They showed it as pink. It's not pink. It's frickin' shit, it might even be white. It might even be white. No, that looks yellow. No, that's yellow. You look at the trim, the white trim. That's like a yellowish. Wow. Well, with the pink, I mean, I have a neon, my coffee neon. That thing was so bright. Excuse me. That thing was so bright, I literally had to take some of my black paint and paint over the very top of the whole neon so only the sides lit up to try and dim it because you couldn't see what it said on my show. Like, it was so bright. So when it was pink, it was like, you know, I need to find it on my Twitter. Because I know I retweeted it. It showed it as pink, and the dark picture showed it like kind of a pink haze, you know. So it was always like a pink, like a. It wasn't shown to be lit up very well, you know. But I'm like, still, you know, it's probably like a nightlight or something. Unless it's an old picture. But I could have swore I just tweeted something about it like a week or two ago. Oh, well, I'm not going to sit there and look for it. Mod chat. Okay. All right. Let me get back to this episode here. Yeah, that would, you could definitely see eyebrows. I don't know why people think you can't. Uh-oh. There we go.
Front left side of this crime scene property. I'm following the yellow police tape. I wouldn't, where I'm standing right now, be able to safely make my way to the front door because there's a steep drop off here with the road and where the property is, but I'm only about 15 yards from that front door right there. Authorities arrived around noon, November 13th. This door was found wide open. The two surviving roommates are said to have slept and lived on this bottom floor. Inside this front door to the immediate left is a staircase that leads up to the second level. You can see through this window the good vibes, neon lights. That is the living room area
Oh, nice.
of this home.
That's a good picture too. Shoot.
Home where that staircase leads. And I continue, of course, can walk up this hill along the side of the home, following the police tape. And as I do, I become closer and closer to this home. Now I'm only a few feet away from it. As I make my way up the left side of the home, following this crime scene tape, you can see that this house is built into the side of a hill, and these still posts are here, which seems to indicate that there used to be a fence at one point along this side of the home, but there's not one now. So other than this yellow crime scene tape, which right here, I could easily just step onto this property without any sort of barrier. I've now made my way up the hill where you can see the back of the home. This balcony is the third floor of the home. These windows next to the balcony, I believe, is a bedroom, possibly where one or two of the victims were found stabbed to death. If my photographer moves down to the second floor here, which would be ground level, because again, this house is built into a hill.
Yeah, I mean, oh, that's good right there. Okay, now see those boards right there at the end on the top of the screen? Is it showing it? Yeah. See those boards there at the top? Like when I was there, the boards that are there are literally going like this now. And it's like, dang. Like what took place? Like the deck. Why is the deck already... It had to be kind of unsafe in a way back there. Maybe it's from all the stuff falling from the tree on it, and then it just, the moisture, the maybe the wood's not treated. I don't know, because this back here looks fine, but up here where it's got like some weathering to it, probably where stuff falls from the trees.
I believe that's also a bedroom on the second floor next to the kitchen, where I also believe possibly one of the victims was found stabbed to death. And from where I'm standing right here on this public road, I can easily see into any of these windows.
Yep.
And also just to note right here where I'm standing, this crime scene tape was extended starting about right here through to my right, covering this back portion of this parking lot. So for a couple of hours on week 2, that car could not have just driven through this area because investigators blocked off this entire parking lot so they could assess this backyard more fully. As we make our way around to the back of the home, we are on the parking lot of the neighboring apartment building, and this is easily accessible to anyone who wants to walk on this parking lot. And as you can see, there's no obstructions other than the trees and the leaves. To the back of this home, you can see the back patio, you can see the back glass sliding doors, you can see into the windows. Authorities spent a lot of time in this back area of the home investigating how possible suspects could have entered from this direction. And we're still here on the apartment building's parking lot. This is where the yellow crime scene tape ends. On this side, it is bordered on the other side by the fences of the neighbor's private property. And then from here up, it's just uphill to more homes in that direction. But this downhill is the crime scene. And I want to show you one more thing. Authorities spent a lot of time right here in the backyard where the parking lot is. I'm right next to the crime scene tape, and I have a direct view into the back glass sliding doors, the concrete slab. Those sliding doors lead to the kitchen area on the second floor of the home that further goes into the living room area. Authorities were seen going up and down this hill from this point, other points to that door, presumably trying to determine how someone could access the home from this direction where there are no street lights. It's completely dark, pitch black when the sun goes down, and would be at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning. So
Real
hopefully
dark.
this tour of the crime scene tape rope-off, gives everyone a better perspective on how the investigation is going here in Moscow, Idaho. And Vinny, on my way back down the hill there to the front of the house, I noticed one more thing that I didn't point out in that package. And on the 3rd floor bedroom that I showed you with the balcony, the windows right there, Vinny, there's a letter M, giant letter M, like decoration there on the windowsill. And that may have been the room where Maddie Mogan was living at the time of her murder.
Chanley Painter, thank you so much for that. I want to go right to my guests and get some reaction. Mike King, retired police commander, host of Profiling Evil. What are your thoughts about what Chanley just showed us? Is we got finally a good look at this scene.
It's a good video.
Yeah,
here.
I actually did a great job. And I think the thing that jumped out to me the most, Vinny, is I'm not sure still about the lighting from the front of that home and whether there was a porch line on or.
Yeah, Leah, it was different when he lived there. Just maybe like a week and a half ago, we did a show on the zoning committee where they were discussing, because there was people wondering like, well, how did it stay King Road when it's on Queen? And it's something we went into a long time ago, but we showed the whole zoning committee meeting like a week and a half ago. And that's where they're discussing the changes, because back then there was a garage at the front too. And I think we go into those pictures as well on that episode. Definitely check it out.
Or not. But what we do know is that the victims were on floors 2 and 3, and that backyard, and we could see it from her, the images that the cameraman provided show us those sliding doors, show us access, but most importantly, it shows us the concealment that's available to a predator that might be hiding. As she said, it's pitch black back.
That's why I said I always felt like the person parked where that blue car was at. That's why when I got my footage in the nighttime or the daytime, and I can show you the nighttime again tonight. Maybe I'll show you here now. It's freaking dark
back there. And what a great way for a person to surveil what's going on inside of that home and make his entry into the home and exit from the area.
Yeah, you could wait for those lights to go out when they got home and they were asleep. Dr. Kobolinski, your thoughts about the investigation. As Chanley was describing, they were going through that whole area, trying to figure out how a killer could get out and whether or not there was any evidence left behind.
Yeah, I think the focus for me, at least initially, would be to establish the point of entry. Point of exit, also important, but not as important. The point of entry, it did not appear to be an obvious break-in. In other words, is it possible that the perpetrator had the code to get into the front door, or did the person gain entry through one of the sliding door in the back? And I think that's very important because that's the area to cover with, looking for fingerprints and other trace evidence. Once inside, you can easily gain access to all 3 floors. The design, the architecture is a little odd because of the way the house is built. Lighting is obviously important, but this person obviously does not like lighting. He wants to have cover for his activities. So I think I'll stop with that. That's most important to me, point of entry.
Jim Clemente, your reaction to what we saw from the scene in light of some of the other information that investigators, again, looking for a potential stalker.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit ago. Unfounded report is because actually in the beginning of this episode when we got into it, they even showed what took place with that one. It's a good point though.
There's plenty of room, space.
I'm gonna show you the footage at night after this is done. I'm gonna show you guys how dark it really is back there.
An opportunity for somebody to surveil that house without being seen at all from that parking lot area or the wooded area right behind it. I think it's interesting that the 2 victims who survived were on the ground floor, and that would lead me to believe that it's possible that the entry and exit was done from the 2nd or 3rd floor. and that's why the people downstairs survived.
And who said that the person didn't go through the sliding glass door on the top floor when you have an officer that shows up and says, this is interesting. There's no stairs on the top deck. So then what would make somebody think that they would have to lock the top deck door, right? That's why I always brought up the idea when the first thing that's noticed from DM is somebody that's playing with a puppy who says the person didn't jump up on the back corner of the deck, climb up, gain access through an unlocked sliding glass door on the 3rd floor deck, hide in the closet, have to play with the puppy to then go to the other 3rd floor bedroom. All the doors can be locked. All the windows can be locked. If you have a deck and there's no access to it, maybe you just forgot to lock the 3rd floor sliding glass door.
I guess it's also possible that if it was targeted, that the offender attacked whoever was on the floor that he came in on, and then went and actually found somebody else who may have been the actual target. And then once he actually found the person he was targeting, or persons, that's when he left.
A big thank you to everyone. Jim Clemente, again, Talk to Me is the new podcast series that's coming out. Pat Portella, great to see you. Mike King, always great. Dr. K, appreciate your time.
Yeah, he had some good points. This is a good one. This is one of those really good old nuggets. So I'm going to share the link to this video again. I'm going to show you the footage at nighttime here. So there's the link to that. I'm going to show you the footage at nighttime here. 1 second. I'm going to show you how dark it really is. All right. Let's see here. Let's go. I think it's about here, maybe. All right. Now I'm coming up on Steiner. Now with this video, I'm trying to think of what time it was. It was kind of late. Man, what time was it? I don't know if it might show it on the video or the. I'd have to look at the properties or something. All right. Oh, shoot, it skipped ahead. Hold on a minute. Dang it. All right. Taylor, there's Sigma Chi to the right there. You can see the EX lit up. Now, when I was in my rental vehicle, it's a rental vehicle where if it doesn't show other headlights, it automatically goes to brights. So as you see, if I'm driving at night, you can see the lights change when it notices headlights in front of me. And if it doesn't, then it has a certain kind of brights. Barely any fucking room, you guys. There was the tire tracks still there. You can see the tire tracks still there. I'm actually going to the Linda Lane spot in this footage, but it's going to be taking you to the back of the scene, and you're going to see the difference between no headlights and headlights, and you're going to see the drastic change when it comes to how dark it is when something's not lit compared to, you know, It's like a straight night and day complete. I mean, look at this. It's so tight. It's so tight. All right, and this is where I parked at, where the Linda Lane camera is straight ahead. So to give you guys, when it comes to Linda Lane and where the vehicle parked and this and that, this gives you a better idea, better layout at nighttime when it comes to Linda Lane. And then kind of do this little turn there. Look at the slope there. Just how tight it is. Look at that. It's like I'm almost going to hit the fucking buildings and shit, It's crazy how tight it is. It's crazy. You get nervous if you're not from, All right, so we're going now. 1122 is to my right. This is the lot behind 1122. Now look at the difference. And there's the Chrysler everybody's always talking about to the left. Look at the difference, right? And this is with my headlights shining. Look at the difference. So imagine my lights aren't on. Imagine their lights aren't on. And then to give you the perspective, because you wouldn't be able to see anything in the dark because it's all boarded up, of course. So that's why if you go here and you go park, this is just the camera. This isn't the human eye. The human eye can see 1126. It can see exactly the sliding glass door, the bedroom window, the other sliding glass door, the other window, the patio, everything in front of it, the street to the right. You can see cars coming from Taylor onto King Road right up by the tree to the left, right up where the railing is on 1122's third floor deck. This visual right here, and that's why I've always said I think the person parked where that blue car is on Google. Because this spot right here, you can see who's coming in from Taylor to Queen. You can see anybody from the right side in the apartment building, the parking lot right there. You can see who's coming up and down the road, coming up the Queen Road section towards the parking lot. Not the one that's going in front of 1112. Not that. But this gives you a visual of everything. And when and like I said, you take away the headlights and that other vehicle's lights, just go from the top half up, and that's how dark it is. Nobody here would ever be able to see. There's no kind of anything to illuminate back. There's no lights in the parking lot. There's nothing to illuminate somebody's face as they're sitting in this vehicle watching in complete darkness, as long as a neighbor doesn't get in their car or pull in. It does. I'm sorry. Nothing else makes sense to me. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and end the show here. And I got the cable people coming. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to get that stuff fixed. They're going to be coming in about 30 minutes or so. So let's hope it gets fixed. Fingers crossed. I'm going to be back tonight. And we'll be discussing more stuff. I'm going to be Harsh has got a live at 4:45 Central, 5:45 Eastern. I'll see you guys in there. If I'm not able to be on the computer because they're still doing some work, I will be on the phone. And when it's on the phone, it's really hard to say what's up, because of the and all that shit. It doesn't work on the phone. So I apologize if I don't at you. Just, it's because I'm on mobile and it's a pain in the ass. So I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys later. We got a big show coming tomorrow, and we got more stuff coming up this weekend, and we have more conversations with CJ interviews coming up too. So we look forward to those. Thank you all so much. Appreciate your company, your support, your conversation. Yeah, good luck, right? We'll see. They've been out here over 15 times so far. We'll see. I don't know. I'm putting a notification out there, Nina, after the show's over. I'm putting a notification out there, but I can't make any promises because last time they were supposed to come, they said, well, it's going to be 2 days. So, and then I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. How about you take a week out of your paycheck and then we'll see if it's cool with you, Right? We'll see. Fingers crossed. Let's hope. But been out here 15 times. I don't yell at him. Yeah, I did on the last phone call. Trust me. It's ridiculous. All right, everybody. I'll see you later. Appreciate you. Thank you. Fingers crossed. Come on. I need it. This damn internet, yo. I just want to do a show.